So you go in and you decide you're going to make an offer on this property. So two questions. Number one, because you know what you're wanting to do, are you overpaying for the property because you want it that badly? Number two is, do you put some type of contingency in your offer in the event that the politicians say, oh, we don't like these guys from out of town, we're not going to allow them to build it, tear it down and put in 3 units?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Somerville politicians not liking us aspect. They'll get to that in a second.
Why did I know that was the side angle? Yeah.
Well, so we yes, paid more than it was being listed for, not significantly, but because of what Nick said, we knew what we could do there, and we knew what prices were per square foot on the sellout side. It actually was a really reasonably priced property considering all that. So that was the case. And with that one, we actually didn't put any contingencies because we wanted it. And so we now will do contingencies as often as possible, but sometimes where it's like, this is going to be a home run as of right. We don't have the risk of going through zoning. We don't need 6 units to make it work. We can make a lot of money just on the 3 and create 3 new homes out of this currently unoccupied, dilapidated piece of junk. We're definitely going to, make our offer is sort of as strong as possible and be willing to not do a contingency, which in that case we didn't.
You say as of right. Up here in New Hampshire, we say by right. So,
we do say by right too. I don't know why I started saying that recently. I say as of right a lot more now.
I'm not impressed, Eric. I'm not impressed. We say by right. So, okay. So now you put in contingency. What type of wording do you put in now for your contingencies?
We have a lot of different types of contingencies. So we have a deal right now where it was not listed off market. It was one of our partners, another guy who works with us, Kyle. He approached these homeowners directly. He was scouting out this neighborhood specifically because it's in a really favorable zone where you're allowed to build dense buildings, but there's randomly just a lot of single families there for some reason. So if we could buy these single families, or one of them agreed, we could build, a small apartment building. So he scouted them off market, talked to all the people on the street, and one of them was amenable. And we said to them, okay, look, your house is worth X on the open market, but if you allow us to put in a contingency that says we're not going to buy it until we have full approvals, we will pay.
And all appeals have been exhausted.
Yeah, actually on this one, we put no closing until we had our building permit in hand, which you can sometimes really push it to, make it as favorable as you want. Because these people, they weren't even thinking about selling their house as a vague idea maybe in the future. We approached them. They're in no rush. They're just living there and they're willing to wait, so push for as far out in the future and as minimal as risk as possible. That's what we did on this one. And it's interesting. This one, we're actually selling it to another developer. So we didn't have to purchase it until the last second. And now we're selling it to another developer. So we de-risked completely, entitled it, and now we're making, a couple $100,000 just from the approved plans.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of like the ultimate no risk sort of scenario. Yeah. We also put in really strong due diligence clauses, more than like a normal due diligence where you're just looking at the rents. We'll put in like, the building is suitable for being developed upon. I mean, we've had contingencies where our attorneys snuck in like a sentence saying we can back out for no reason or any reason whatsoever. So it's like whatever, every deal is individual, and you're not trying to take advantage of any people. You're just trying to protect yourself.
Yeah. And don't you love it when the other party doesn't have any attorneys involved? That's the best part. Like, because no attorney would have allowed you guys to get away with that clause. Not a chance.
I think we've had it on like 2 contracts so far already.
Yeah. Like, sure. Where do I sign? Where do I sign? Yeah. They're just counting the dollars. I bought a parcel up here in Nashua. It's around the corner. I was looking for land to develop apartments. But this one came up. I said, it's a residential, but I'll buy it, and it's right around the corner from one of the biggest developers in New Hampshire. He lives right around the corner. He's a friend of mine, and he said, hey, what are you going to do in that lot? And I said, I'm going to build a 5-story apartment building. He goes, that's a great idea. I love it. Like, of course he wants to do that. But, taking what you just said, and one of my things, I'm on the MLS. My realtor sends me stuff automatically. And the criteria that I look for is any single family house with at least 0.67 acres. Because then I know that that's another buildable lot right there on the land, and I can go in there and do something with it. So, and it has to be within the particular zones, but that's what I get from my realtor all the time, so that I can go out there and take a look at it and see if I can do something with it. And like you said, by right or as of right, what is it that I can put on that property? So yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. You set the criteria ahead of time based on the research you did. And then when you get those deals, you know what you can do.
Right. And that's why I asked the question. Was it dumb luck, or did you have a strategy that you could do that? And I think that's what we do. So